On this episode of Interviews, I get to speak with a dear friend of mine who you all know. Either it's from watching a touring show of maybe Chicago, or maybe it's from watching your TV in America's Got Talent. She is the one, the only, Christina Wells. Hello there, hon.
Hello. How are you, my friend?
I am good. I first got to know you before
Yeah.
America's Got Talent. That
Yes.
was just happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who are you now different from the person before that?
Ooh, that is okay. You're getting into it.
We're going right in.
Well, I think before, I'm a nurse and I'm a mama. And so during the 2017, 2018 timeframe, all the way to 2020, my kids have graduated, moved out. My oldest son's gotten married. I'm a grandma now. And also, I no longer work in the bedside of the hospital. I don't work in a hospital at all anymore. I work from home. And so my life is really completely different than it was before. Yeah. And also, I think the other thing is that before I was desperate for the opportunity to share my gift. And now I have realized that I don't have to feel desperate. Like I can feel comfortable and know that the right things are coming to me and I can trust that that will happen at the right time. And I think that's what America's Got Talent taught me big time.
But was it the success that show gave you, or was it just a maturing in yourself?
Oh, 100% maturing in myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like learning that I will live. I lived all these years, right? I'll be 50 this year. Yes, my first time singing was at 42. Right? That was the first time I really got to put my voice out there, my talent. I tried when I was 19, 20. But yeah, it's only been in my 40s. And so, yeah, definitely she's a different lady than she was when she was younger. I joke and say the reason that success waited so long for me to get to enjoy it was because I probably would have been immature.
Yeah.
Like even in my 30s.
Yeah.
Probably would have been a little immature. Ego can get you quickly in this industry. Things go well for a while. You start to get a little lackadaisical or think it's going to be fine. But life has taught me to stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And so, yeah, anytime I see that happening, like I'll go to an event and someone will be like, oh, you're so nice or you're so willing to work. And I'm like, I know people probably have come in who haven't been. We both know people like that who think they could just show up, right? But I have been in the background for so long that I've so much respect for the people that make it happen, even more than the people on the screen with you. So yeah, I think age has definitely helped to make me more of a mature woman who could handle this more gracefully.
Before sitting down to do this, and I will take you back, talk life and all
Yeah.
that, but I was looking at the performances on America's Got Talent.
Yes.
And the thing that struck me this time that I don't think I noticed before or thought about before was how that must have felt for you to walk out on that stage. And before you start realizing what could be, what was about to happen, what was going through your mind at that moment?
Well, we've all sat in our living room and watched some show and been like, if I was, like maybe Jeopardy, whatever, right? We're like, if I was on there. So I had definitely had that in the back of my head. I had always said, if Simon could hear me sing. So now Simon was going to hear me sing. But I think more than anything, I was in a place, especially whenever I went on America's Got Talent the very first time, of not so much just thinking like, oh, my dreams are going to come true, but this is my chance at least to get to try.
Yeah.
I never felt like I got to really try and put myself out there. And I always think of that Christina as her own person, separate from me. So that Christina, I'm grateful to her. That Christina in the pink dress, she took a huge chance. She was afraid. I always joke, but it's true. I peed my pants a little, so afraid. I was terrified. And it was really one of those moments of feel the fear and do it anyway. And she took a huge risk and she tried something that was so scary to her. And I'm so grateful that she did because she changed my life. Yeah. Like everyone says that Simon Cowell, the fact that he stood up and I got the 4-chair standing ovation, like that's a big deal. Most people get 3-chair.
You
I
got
the
4.
4-chair, right. But the truth is, and I say this all the time, before Simon could say yes to me, I had to say yes to me. And that Christina said yes to herself. She didn't say, oh, you're too fat. She didn't say, you're too old. She didn't say, it's too late. She said, I'm going to try.
Yeah.
And she went and did that. And that's how I have the life I have now because of her. So I always try to say that I'm doing the best I can because past Christina got me where I'm at. Present Christina needs to work her butt off to impress future Christina.
Who is future Christina? Any idea?
I do, actually. I very much know who future Christina is right now. She, I know that she's moving into a place where singing is one of the mediums, not the only medium. I very much now I'm in a place where I feel like I have something to share. more than just singing. I have a story to tell. I think my life has a lot of lessons in it. You know how you go through things and you're like, why is this happening to me? I feel like I know now why. I think that I have what I call cheat codes on life. I figured out how to stay happy through hardship. I figured out how to stay confident through society, society's pressures to say that I myself sitting right now don't qualify as what the idea of beauty is, or what the idea of intellect is, or what the idea of success is. There were many years I walked into patients' rooms and they thought I was the maid. And so being a brown plus size woman, being gay, like all these things about me, I feel like I have something to share with the world. I don't know if I've told you this out loud, but I've written a book. And yes, and it's a book called Confidence, and it's me sharing portions of my life and explaining how I once lost my confidence and how I've learned to regain it, and that confidence isn't a place that you arrive to. It's a journey every day, and it's a practice that I have to constantly put in place, and that's how we can all feel confident. Yeah. And so, the Christina Wells of the future, she's an author. She's going to have a TED Talk. She's going to have her book, one of many. That's the Christina of the future. She will still sing, though, whenever she does all those things.
I asked you a little bit ago about the difference between the Christina before America's Got Talent and the Christina today. If I asked your children about the difference in you, what would they say to me?
Well, one of the things when I talk to my kids about my progression is my sons will tell me, whenever we first started, they were like, we don't know what took everyone so long. That's my favorite thing they ever said. Whenever America's Got Talent interviewed them, they were like, are you so proud of your mom? Are you so surprised? And they were like, no, we're wondering what took all of you so long. And that was the greatest compliment. But I was talking to my kids just the other day, and they're like, the thing that they see is that I've continued the hard work. They're like, Mom, you keep working. You've improved your singing. You've improved your acting. You've improved all these things that they saw the seeds of. Yeah. Right. And so that's what they say to me. They're like, that I continue to work hard constantly. And you and I have talked. I'm relentless. I'm an all day kind of a lady. I've always have 1,000 projects and so many things I want to accomplish. Let me make all the clothes and sing all the songs and produce the show. Right.
And do your nails.
And do my nails, of course. Yes. Yeah. I do my nails and then also translate it into other languages. I mean, just anything I can do. But yeah. So that's the thing they say to me. They're like, you just keep on doing the work. And that's what makes me proud, because when I started this, and I said this on America's Got Talent, is that I want to show my boys that your dreams can come true. I think we believe dreams belong to youth. You can only have dreams when you're 18. Mm-hmm. Opportunity belongs to the young. It makes no sense. You don't know who you are at that age. Yeah. You don't know who you are. How are you supposed to know everything that's supposed to happen? Or if your opportunity comes, we see this in famous people who are young. The struggle they go through, we could list names right now. Some of them don't survive the struggle, either they have fallen off of it or they passed away, unfortunately. And so, I think it's crazy to think that dreams and opportunity and all of that can only happen when you're young. I believe it can happen anytime in life. Yeah. And that's the message I know now my children see. I know they see it, and that's what I want for them in their lives too.
The other point of that makes me think of is when we all know, really amazingly talented people who don't put the work in.
That's exactly right.
And will never get it because when opportunity comes and knocks, they didn't do the work to be ready for it. Yes. And I felt like you were ready for it, even if maybe you hadn't come to it till later to want to do it. You didn't look away. You didn't take it for granted. Mm-mm. You knew that to keep it, you had to work at it. Mm-hmm. You always want to improve. You always want to be better than yesterday. And I think a lot of people who are fortunate enough to be gifted with the talent you have feel like, well, I've got it. Look at it.
Yeah, exactly. The doors should just open.
Right.
Or that also the discovered sentence, you've been discovered, or that, everything just happens for you. I 100% agree with you. My son played football, and I said to him every day, because he's athletic, but there were, of course, other guys who could throw farther, run faster, whatever. And I told him all the time, hard work beats talent every time talent forgets to do the hard work.
Oh, good one.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Because I could tell you in anything in life, maybe if you walk in the door, you don't know, like you go to an interview or you go to an audition, and I've auditioned for so many things now. I don't think I'm the best singer that I always sings when I walk in a room. I know I'm not. I know that I'm not. I am a talented woman, but I hear many voices that are amazing. But you know what I will do? I'm going to work hard. I'm going to show up prepared every day. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be easy to work with. I'm going to be ready. You want my headshot? Boom. Biography? Got you. Christina, we need B-roll. We need pictures. I'm going to have it all ready to go. And so I think oftentimes being easy to work with, being willing to do the hard work, that's if not more, but equally as important as talent.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have talent. I'll meet someone and I'm like, my goodness, listen to you sing. My Lord, why doesn't everyone know about you? But then I work with them and I'm like, oh, this is why.
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah.
This is why. Because you're right. A lot of people think talent excuses them from being on time or being prepared or practicing, rehearsing. You'd be shocked. I'm shocked. Because I'm literally like, I can't believe anybody wants to hear Christina Wells from Pasadena sing. Like, I say that all the time. You want me to do that? Oh, yes. Okay. What do I got to do? I'm working on something every day to be ready for that next opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, take me all the way back. I don't know if
Okay.
we've ever talked about this.
Yeah.
Who is Little Girl, Christine?
Oh, goodness gracious. She is just like this. That's the
So
problem.
a handful from the
Yes.
start.
Well, the funniest story, and my mom and sister and I were talking about just the other day, when I was born in Texas. I was born in Waco, Texas. And my mom, for those of you who don't know, I'm half black, half white. And my mom is white. My father was black. He passed away when I was 3. And my father had a magnetic personality. He was a preacher and well-known man in Texas. And so my mom has this baby, this little mixed girl. My mom's from a small town in Kentucky. This was an different door for her. And she said the nurses came in and they were like, oh, your baby is just hilarious. She's so entertaining. And she was like, what? She's 1 day old. What are you talking about? And she said the nurses told her this repeatedly, how entertaining I was. At 1 day. And when I was 3 years old, remember Solid Gold?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, right? Marilyn McCoo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I was
Dionne Warwick before that.
Okay, touche. Look
There
at you.
we go.
Okay, so when I was 3 years old, I came out of my mom's bedroom with a jump rope, holding the handle like a microphone and holding the cord, Marilyn McCoo style, singing Donna Summer at the age of 3. And so, yeah, I joke all the time because anytime I've tried to do stuff like, auditioning, I auditioned for a show once and the man, he was like, man, you have a great voice. I mean, you're not quite ready. He's like, you're not quite there yet, but you have a great voice. And I always felt like they meant my talent needed to be better. What I've realized is that I needed to grow into this, this voice, this personality, all of this. Coming out of a 12-year-old, a 15-year-old, an 18-year-old, now I can see it. You see someone who's an amazing, like playing an older character, but they're really 15 or 17 or 18. You got to grow into that. You're not quite ready yet. In a few more years, you got to get some wisdom behind the eyes to go with that voice. And so I laugh. I say, could you imagine me singing like this at 10? Or I did a show recently and a bunch of girls from church, my growing up church, came. And every year at church camp, there was a talent show night. You already know I was a part of it. I think I was 12 years old. I got multiple girls from my church. This is not even an exaggeration. And I taught them Giving Him Something He Can Feel by In Vogue. I got them all to get men's dress shirts. And we got sheets. We put the sheets over ourselves. We walked out onto the stage. I taught them choreography. When the chorus hit, we dropped the sheets on the floor. 12 years old. And one of the girls was like, I remember the choreography. So this has been always. This has always been. Yeah.
Yeah.
This didn't come later. This is always Christina.
You talk about being biracial.
I do.
I'm curious, in today's day and age, I don't think we realize if it was a struggle or the challenges, whatever the right word is, back in the time when you were growing up, which is just an arm's reach away. It wasn't that far.
Well, but, 1975 is when I was born. I'll be 50 and this year. And my mom raising 2 mixed children in the South in the 70s and 80s was not a pleasurable experience. There were definitely a lot of challenges. A lot of people, especially in those years, saw us as trash. Like it was very clear that my mother had, stepped out of her race, And so a lot of negative experiences, definitely people who looked at you and gave you the dirty looks, wouldn't speak to you. And I think one of the things that actually, I thought it would make it easier, but it actually has made it harder, was that then people just assumed I was Hispanic because that's easier. Mm-hmm. You're brown, you live in Houston, Texas, you're Hispanic. And so I think I tried assimilating. I can speak Spanish. I started learning the language, learning the culture, going to quinceañeras, like all of that. But then whenever I turned 18, I really wanted to find my culture and explore what that meant to be a Black woman. And I struggled with that for a long time. And I realized that my voice is probably the biggest portal into me being a Black woman, because people hear me sing and they think I have sang with gospel choirs, or they think I have this history as this Black woman who sings. And literally in my mind, I don't even have that reference. I just can sing this way. That's just how my voice is. And so, yeah, it's definitely been a journey, both with singing, with my abilities, my talent, but even like when on America's Got Talent, one of my favorite videos on YouTube is me in the pink dress singing. And there are, I want to say there's like 20,000 comments. Probably 5,000 of them are, what is my ethnicity? People fighting over who I belong to. No, she's Dominican. Girl, look at her. That is a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There are people who will meet me and they'll be like, you're not white? They just think I'm white. And it's just so interesting to me that the thing that made my childhood challenging, being loud, always wanting to be a performer, being what I call ethnically ambiguous, right? Those were the things that made my childhood and my young adult years very hard. Now they're the greatest things about me. They're the things everyone loves. They're like, she's so relatable. Everyone, right? Because I've learned that everyone feels like another. Everyone feels like an outsider in some place in their life. And I represent that. I represent being heavy. I represent trying things when you're older. I represent no one knowing what your race is. So now I'm grateful for it. But yeah, no, in those early years, it's hard being unique.
Yeah.
Unique ain't for the weak, honey.
But what I always argue, and this happens all the time in this business, is they're always trying to copy the last big success. Mm-hmm. But what they don't seem to realize is that last big success was successful because it was different.
Yes.
It's the unique, the special that draws people to it. Imitations of it never land the same way.
They don't. People want to see something different. I think also, like, what do you see that's the most successful is when someone doesn't look like they sound, or it's a surprise. We want to be surprised.
Yeah. We
want to see something we haven't seen before. That's especially now with, attention span less than 3 seconds. Right? For a video, or right? Like, we all do that, right? How are you going to get them? What's your hook? And so, yeah, for me, my hook is that I look like this and then I sing and it's like, oh, wait, that doesn't go together.
You talk about the surprise, and I wanted to finish back a little bit, but I want to jump here since you brought it up, is when you watch something like, especially on America's Got Talent, you start, if you watch it with the critical eye, you start to realize it's more about the stories they're telling about the individuals.
100%.
But do you feel in some way exploited in that arena, that it's being presented as a talent show for your talent, but really they're selling you because you fit in this category, or your story is this. Let's see how long we can make America like this story.
So I have a really firm opinion about this, because this is a common thought process people have. When I did the show, it was literally the contestants talked about it. You were either a sob story or you were a horror act. This was the conversation backstage. So it would be like, who are you? What are you doing? So like, this guy's going to shoot an arrow at your head, right? And get an apple. So he's horror. He's scary. But then your mother had cancer, right? So these are the two categories. Now, whenever, I think this is one of those moments where if I was younger, I would have been like, this is a talent show. I'm here to be a singer. You need to know about me being a singer. But I will tell you, when I first went to do the audition and you go in and that you start interviewing and you see other people interviewing, because it's done where the open space is at. So you might see someone in the booth for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They interviewed me for hours. They would interview me. I mean, I've been in an interview before for 3 hours. Literally. And I learned quickly, because I'm older, I'm a nurse. I'm an educator as a nurse, so I know how to speak. And I share my stories. And I've had a very interesting life, good or bad. It's been interesting. That I'm a human interest story. I'm a walking human interest story. Right? Mm-hmm. Tell us, Christina, single mother fights back as people say she's too heavy to, right? Living her dreams and raising the roof off the doll. The story. And I started to realize, yes, I am talented, but also I do have this story to tell. And so I realized that gave me kind of a leg up. Like, one of the other contestants had a manager, which in the contract it said you couldn't have any of those people there. Obviously, other people negotiated. I didn't know how to at the time. And so I'm sitting there alone with my purse and a sandwich, and other people have full teams. It's okay. I'm not bitter. And one of the managers came to me. She goes, oh, hello, Miss 8 Minutes. And I go, what are you talking about? She's like, in the first episode, you got 8 minutes of airtime. What? She's like, yeah. So I went back and looked, and she was right. They had told the story about my life, right? And then the next time I was on the show, they interviewed my mama. They interviewed my kids. The next time I was on, and I realized that she's right. They did give me extra time, and it wasn't for my singing. Yeah, it was for my story. And so when I came off the show, people said it. They're like, we'd love for you to come perform, and will you tell your story? Yeah. And that's where I'm actually, I think if I was a person who just watched the show, you might say to yourself, I think people tell themselves, oh, it's a talent show. But why are you watching? You want to know the stories.
It's human interest.
You do.
Yeah.
And you want to root for someone you care about.
Yeah.
What's something I'm told all the time? That I did it right. I raised my kids, then I tried. Or you're a nurse. You know, we're so proud of you. Like, people feel invested in you as a person, not just your talent.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know who you are, and then they decide to support you. This is why big businesses have, you know, mascots. Flo for Progressive, right? We can't love Progressive, but we can love Flo.
People like people.
People like people, yes. Yeah. And so I think at first I struggled because I did want it to be just about my voice. But over time, I realized that the thing that would keep me on the show longer was my story.
I think you told me once you learned how to say a good soundbite.
Yeah.
You knew.
Oh, honey, they give you to talk, and then they say, could you tell me that story again in 1 minute, Christina? And I'm like, okay. Could you tell it to me again in 30 seconds? I'm like, okay. Could you say it in one sentence? And so, I mean, and you're on the show for a year. Like my first audition was November of 2017. And my last, when you're on the TV, they call it audition still. My last time performing on the show was September the 11th. So I was on the show for a year doing press, doing interviews, doing, you know, and each time you do the performance, it's a package. It's not, you know. You have a producer. My producer name's Kayla. Hey, Kayla, I love you. Thank you so much. And, you know, she and I, like, what am I wearing? What's my story angle? And I joke. I was like, at first it was about my weight. Then it was about my race. I was like, if I stayed on long enough, it would be like about my being gay. That, like, just keep going through each thing I got. Them. Yeah, exactly.
Take me back again. Okay, so we know you've got this big voice and this great personality, and you're doing En Vogue and you're choreographing the kids in school. When did you decide, all right, I'm not going to pursue the career. I'm going to go into nursing. I'm going to go the traditional route.
Yeah. Well, so I wasn't in choir in high school or junior high. I played the French horn in bands. So I was a total band geek. But, you know, like I said, little variety show things. And so I had performed at some variety show things in high school. And Mr. David Delaney, who was our choir teacher in high school, may he rest in peace, he came to me my beginning of my senior year, and he was like, why are you not in choir? And I was like, because choir is boring.
I like band.
I know. I'm like, I want to be in band because, you know, in band you dance in the stands and we did cool stuff. And I was like, why would I want to sing like this boring milquetoast music y'all are singing? He was like, well, we do show stuff. We do show choir. He's like, I really think you'll be good in it. Would you please come and be a part of the choir? So my senior year, I joined the choir. And so now, of course, you know, I don't know if I've told you this, but I was voted most likely to be famous in high school. So, of course, the message gets into your mind where you're like, I'm going to be a singer, right? Everyone in high school thinks I am so great at singing, and I'm in the choir, I'm in the show choir, and doing all these things. And so I started auditioning my freshman year of college. I went to UT of Austin for a couple of years. I didn't graduate. And I started auditioned. And the big story I always share, and it's true, was that I auditioned for Astroworld. They were doing a big Motown review show, and they had an open call in one of the big auditoriums at Astroworld. It was spring break of 1995. I was at UT. I came home with the intent to audition for this so I could do it for the summer. I had not really done a ton of auditioning outside of the school stuff, right? So this was my first time really trying. And I go and I audition, and they were looking for a Michael Jackson, a Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin. They had these characters. And so they had a list of only 10 songs you could choose from to audition. It wasn't like bring your own music. There was a pianist. He had the 10 songs of music. You picked one, you sang it, and you sang it in front of all of the other auditioners, a full auditorium. Well, one thing that I have really not struggled with a lot is stage fright.
Really?
I know. It's shocking. When I see a group of people, I joke and I'm like, you see those people right over there? That's the audience waiting to happen. And so I got up on stage and I sang Respect by Aretha Franklin because it was on the list. And I mean, they went crazy for me. So I was like, ooh, yeah. Anyways, I make it to the final 20. They're picking 10 or 12 people and they cut me. And I was like, if right now I'm a size 24, at that point in time, I was a size 16, 18. So I was a thick girl, but I wasn't like this giant person. And they were very upfront with me that they had already started building the costumes for the Whitney Houston character, and they decided to blend the Whitney Houston with the Aretha Franklin. Now, this woman today completely understands this. If you're going to have a show, you're going to have 10 people, have the same, black girl that could belt. That's always my joke, the big black girl that belts. Have her do the big voiced stuff, right? But at the time, all I heard was, they said it to me. They're like, well, you wouldn't fit the costumes. You wouldn't fit the physical expectation of the Whitney Houston stuff. And I said, thank you. And then I proceeded to go to one of those phone booth things at Astroworld and cried for hours before I called my mom to come pick me up. I was 19. And I had already believed that I was too fat to be a singer. I already believed it, right? Plus the whole ambiguous thing, you know, I really struggled with it because what do I want to sing? I want to sing Mariah and Whitney and Black women, and I don't look it. So I already had lots of doubts. And that reaction at that audition, I thought, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe I can do this. So whenever they said that to me, I accepted it. You're right. I'm too fat to do this. This is a ridiculous concept that I would think I could do this. And that's whenever I was like, okay, never mind. And I didn't end up finishing school at UT. I got a job as a bookkeeper, and then I ended up having my kids, and I figured out about going to school. Nursing would pay me better. You know, I didn't have a degree. I got my LVN first, which was a 1-year program. And then, you know, my kids at the time were 5 and 2. And then it wasn't until my kids were teenagers that I went back and got my bachelor's degree. And nursing, you know, nursing pays the bills every day. Mm-hmm. It pays the bills in January when there's no gigs. It pays the bill, nursing pays the bills every day. And as a single mom, you know, my marriage didn't last. And then I ended up coming out of the closet and having my boys. And nursing was the consistent thing. And people will say, well, why didn't you still try to sing on the side? That didn't even occur to me. Never in my mind would I have thought I could be a mom, work as a nurse 12 hours, all these days, and then still try to sing. But my birthday, what did I want to do? Go karaoke.
Yeah.
Right. And I would love to go. And I actually still to this day love to go into a karaoke and no one knows who you are and freaking bend that microphone in half. And the whole place is confused, you know. And I mean, I did try when I was 28, I auditioned for American Idol. I sang Chain of Fools. And I know that I can sing. I don't ever doubt that I can sing. But I had come to this place where I thought, if this doesn't happen, it's because my voice is in the wrong body. Like if you could take my voice out of my body, Ursula style, and put it into some hot blonde, I mean, she'd be so going places, right? So this is what I have in my head. Well, the producer, because, you know, if you've ever auditioned for these kind of things, you know, early on, you're just meeting producers. And there's 152 of them things. Mm-hmm. There's producers everywhere. And so he told me, great voice, but it's a no. That's what he said. Exact words. Well, I walked out, and the next girl behind me was this cute little blonde girl. Mind you, that was the year that Carrie Underwood won. This cute little blonde girl goes in and sings Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And she made it to the next level. And I was like, okay, note to self. I don't know why I'm even here. Then it wasn't until years later I tried The Voice. And so, you know, spoiler alert, they look at you. Because that's what everyone said to me. I was like, I'm too heavy to be singing. Like, go on The Voice. Yeah. They don't even look at you. Child, they look at you. Yeah. The people that don't look at you is at the end. The beginning, they look at you. They told me, they were like, it's a maybe. We might call you tonight. My phone didn't ring. And I just said, never mind. Yeah. And it wasn't until 2017, actually 2013, it was Christmas of 2013. And my boys, we were here in Houston visiting my family for Christmas. I'll never forget this. And they were unwrapping presents with my family. And I thought, wow, it's so sweet. I love seeing this. And I'm like, it's going to end soon. And I was like, it's going to end soon. My boys are going to grow up, and then what am I going to do? And I don't know why it struck me that day. Wow. In a weird way, like a huge realization that they're going to grow up and leave. That's why I'm working so hard. So they can be adults that can leave my house. Then what am I going to do? My whole life was my children. Yeah. My whole life was my children. And so I decided, I was laying in bed later in the evening of Christmas, it was Christmas night, and I was like, in a little voice in my head was like, what about trying to sing again? I was like, shut up. I say this all the time. I'm older and fatter than I was back then when they said I was too fat. So it ain't going to happen. And again, the little voice, what about singing? And there's this movie, Bruce Almighty. Mm-hmm. And in the movie Bruce Almighty, this all happened with rights. You know, everything happens when it's supposed to. I'm watching Bruce Almighty, the same little voice about the singing. And he wants to be an anchorman, right? He wants to be the lead anchor guy. And all the story goes. But at the end, he says something. He goes, why can't I entertain the community? Why do I have to be at the top of the mountain to be doing this? And that hit me. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be Ariana Grande to sing. I don't have to be famous to sing. I can sing at local things. I can sing at local, community shows. And so that's what I started doing. My boys are still with me. And in the summer, it was football fall. Spring, my younger son did art. So that's the rodeo and all the art stuff. And then the summer was mom's time. And I would do one show in the summer. Yeah. And I did Hairspray in 2015, which is like the big thing that kind of, that's a straight line from there. Yeah. So yeah, I did Hairspray. I was Motormouth Maybelle. And I just thought that it was just fun. And then the next summer, I ended up auditioning in 2016 for Pride Superstar. And I, again, thought there's no way. They want to see cute little gay boys sing and dance. They do not want to see me. And I won. I was surprised and shocked. Still to this day, when I think about it, I just can't believe it happened. And I won $2,000. And I won $2,000 in cash. And I won $2,000 at a recording studio, West Side Recording with Tan Trong. Mm-hmm. And I had never really recorded. So I was like, this is going to be like a keepsake for my children when I die. Here is a recording of my mom singing like a professional recording. So I go to the studio. He's like, what's a song you know? I know where I've been. I sing the song. And I did it in 2 takes because I had done it for a show, 8, 9, 10 times plus rehearsal. So it's easier when you go in the studio after that, right? And I sang it and he goes, you have enough money if you want to make a video. And I was like, okay. He was like, we could do it right here in the studio. Just come back and be cute and I'll film you lip syncing to the song. So it'll be like lined up. And I was like, oh, okay, why not? So put a little makeup, did a little hair, and went into the booth holding one headphone to my ear, right? I always joke, Toni Braxton, like, and singing into the microphone that was off. And Joey Guerra was the mentor and lead judge for Pride Superstar. And he really nurtured us, all the contestants. There were 13 of us, and every week he's reaching out, he's supporting you, he's giving you real feedback, not just on the stage. And so he reached out and he was like, how'd it go? I'm like, it's great. And I made this song and I did this video and I was so excited. And he's like, well, can I share it and say, here's what our Pride Superstar is doing? I'm like, yes. So he put it on the Houston Chronicle Facebook page. And for me, it went viral. Millions and millions, no, but 60,000 views, 80,000 views in 2017. That's a big deal. I had maybe 300 followers. And so, from there, I learned later on that America's Got Talent has talent scouts. And one of the talent scouts, his name is Richard, he emailed me and I thought it was a joke and I deleted the email. Because I'm like, surely, are you joking? America's Got Talent's going to email me. Yeah, right. I'm not clicking this link. And so I joke and say that it was an African prince asking for my bank account number. But yeah, so they emailed me again. And my friend was there with me. I was like, this is so hilarious. Isn't this fake? And she was like, why don't you just write back? And I did. And, they have the big cattle call line. And it was going to be at the George R. Brown Convention Center. This was November of 2017. And he said the day before, we're already here and set up, and we'd like you to come in and directly audition for the executive producers.
Wow.
And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. And so a part of me was like, this is laughable. I'm going to do it, but it's laughable. This is really how it's going to happen? No. At 42? No. And so I think I had an air of not that I didn't care, but I knew I would live if it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think for The Voice and American Idol, when I went to audition for things, I felt desperate. Yeah. Desperate. Please, 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 please. And I think when that happened, I was like, let's just see what happens. And so I actually used my phone and made videos of the karaoke tracks of some songs. And I brought it with me and I went into the room and, they're always typing and looking down. Nobody looks at you. I had to learn that. So, of course, I'm like, oh, do I start talking? What's happening? There was a girl in the back of the room with a camera. And obviously, she's doing a wide shot of the whole room so they could review later. But I didn't know that. I know a lot of things now, of course, that I didn't know then. And so I'm standing in the middle of the room. I have a sticker on my tummy that's got a bunch of numbers on it and an AGT logo. And they're like, tell us about yourself and will you sing a song? And so no one's looking at me but her. So I looked at her and I'm like, hi, I'm Christina Wells. And I'm like, I'm 42. I'm a single mom, a nurse, blah, blah, blah. And I sang Son of a Preacher Man. And they were like, thank you. And then I left. Well, when I went back to the lobby, one of the producers was like, stay here. Let's see if they want anything else from you. And there was a little girl sitting next to me. Now that you know the story about American Idol, the little girl sitting next to me was this cute little blonde. She had tight little jeans and boots on, and she had a guitar. Exactly. I'm like, well, never mind. I don't know why I came to this, because little Miss Cute over here about to get whatever it is I thought I was going to have for a few seconds. And I talked to her because, you know, I'm friendly. And I'm like, oh, you know, what did you do? Have you already gone? She said she had already gone in. She had already auditioned. They asked her if she could come up with a few other things, and she was out there waiting. And I was like, oh, well, they really like her. And so the producer comes out and he's like, Christina, thank you. We're good. You can go. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine. And so then I left and I took that sticker and I put it in a scrapbook. I told no one, nobody.
Yeah.
I was like, why? What am I going to tell you for? I told everyone when I went to audition for this other stuff. And when I auditioned for the voice, I posted it all over Facebook. I'm like, look, everybody. No. And so I didn't tell anybody. And that was in November. And in January, 3 months later, not a word. In January, I get an email. Hey, Christina, we'd like to bring you on to audition for the Celebrity Judges. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. And so it's crazy because, and I say this all the time to people, I'm like, the way I thought it was supposed to happen, right? We all have this perceived idea. It's supposed to be that I go into audition, I stand in line all day, and I'm like, ready to go, right? And then the producer is blown away by my talent. And then he's like, you're going to the next level. And he gives me a golden ticket, and then, you know, confetti rains from the sky. None of that. Mm-hmm. And so I think I just was like, okay, well, let's see what happens. And I kept everything in check emotionally because you do so much pre-work. There's so much work doing a TV show. You know, I'm talking to the wrong person. Like, so much work doing a TV show. And so, you know, what are you going to wear? I mean, I was going to stores and trying clothes on in the dressing room, taking photos to send to the producer. Yep. And then they're like, can you send me a 1-minute take of you singing these 20 songs? I'm like, are you kidding? And they're like, no, we need this because they're got to show a group of people because she's trying to pitch me, right? I don't know this. And I'm just like, what? I think I should sing I Know Where I've Been. She's like, no, listen. And so sing these songs. I'm singing crazy stuff from burlesque and I mean, just crazy things. And then, you know, comes time and they fly me to Pasadena, the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, California. And you go in and it is almost like, in school, you know how you have periods in school? It's like that. Like, you know, first period is photo booth. Second period is interview booth. Third period is music rehearsal. Fourth period. And you have a list and you have to go and get all these things done. Then you have to go sit in this room and be taped pacing. And you have to be taped in this room nervous. And then you need to be taped in this room doing this. And then taped getting makeup put on even though they're not really putting makeup on you. Like all these things you got to do. And one thing I will say that I was so lucky about, because you're right, there is a lot of like production and it can feel like it's not about the talent, was that I got to authentically tell my story when I was on the show. I didn't make anything up. I did witness other people trying to find ways to be more interesting. And I was lucky that the person I am, the woman that I am, my real life, I'm really a nurse. I've been a nurse for 21 years. I'm really a single mom. I'm really all these things. I really did want to sing, and I have spent decades not performing because I didn't think I was good enough, and I thought I was too fat and too old. And so that's really my story. It just so happens that I joke and say 2018 was the year of the fat girl. Right. Ashley Graham was on the cover of Sports Illustrated the first time a plus-size model had been on the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. Kiala Settle was the Greatest Showman, the fat lady with the bearded lady. Like there were so many plus-size people in the media that year. So when I walked on stage, I think I just really fit what was really popular. And I say this to people, stay who you are. You will become popular eventually. Like it's going to come. You'll be in fashion at some point. Yeah. Stay who you are. You will be in fashion. It will. It really will. Like I have stayed this same woman. You can see pictures of me with crazy colored hair and big earrings and I'm the surgery prep nurse. Like this is who I've been my whole life. And so I just was myself. And I'm grateful that, because I think a lot of times if you're not yourself, people will say stuff online and in person. Like, well, he used to da-da-da-da-da and he never did such and such. You know, he grew up in, right? And I'm authentic. I grew up in Pasadena, Texas. And, you know, we lived in, like, we'd been on food stamps. And, you know, we used to clean houses when I was a little girl with my mama to make ends meet. And we used to babysit other children in our neighborhood. And we didn't get a car till I was 9. Like, all that is true. It's my real life. And so I'm grateful to be able to be authentically myself and be on such a huge platform as America's Got Talent.
Speaking of being authentically yourself, you mentioned in that the song you sang to audition was Son of a Preacher Man.
Yeah.
You're the daughter
I
of a
am.
preacher. Did that give, do you think, resonance to your delivery of a song that actually takes a piece
I
of
never
your
thought
life?
about that. No, I just knew it, and I wasn't afraid to sing it. But when it got to the show, they were like, "We want you to sing Son of a Preacher Man." I'm like, "But I can sing I Know Where I've Been like nobody's business."
Yeah.
And now that song, I do feel, because when you go, you meet with this team, and one of the main people on the music team wrote a song for Beyonce. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, he wrote a song for a Beyonce album. So, oh my gosh. So I sing a Son of a Preacher Man, but I'm like, let me sing I Know Where I've Been for You. And that song, it does. Every word.
Watching that back always makes me tear up.
Every
to
word.
this day.
Because that woman is telling you how she feels. I do know where I have been. I know about dark, difficult hardship. And I don't forget it. That's what keeps me humble. It's what keeps me grateful. Because I will never forget the years wiping people's booties and giving people pills, wishing I could sing on Broadway. Mm-hmm. I will never forget that. Crying in the bathroom because I'm frustrated over bills and life. And if only people could know what I could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I had so much inside of me. And if only they could know.
Taking that person then and walking out on stage in the national tour of Chicago, 25th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was, yes.
Sanctioned by Broadway, saying this mammoth show, you're going to be
Matron Mama Morton. Yeah. I know, crazy.
What goes through your mind? Does all of the rest of this come back and say, look at where you've come from?
No, I have so much imposter syndrome when it comes to those things. I literally am, because you know what I think? I believe that I always say I'm supposed to turn into a unicorn. Like, once I transform and my horn grows, then I will be qualified. Like, but really, it's just who I am. Like, I wasn't able to go to the callbacks for Chicago. So I did the video auditions, but the callbacks were in New York, and it didn't work out because I work. Right? I'm not all the, like a lot of other performers who that's what they do first. And then they like wait tables or something. Right. So I couldn't go to the callbacks. And do you know the room of people that were that audition, they liked me so much for my video where I'm a dork and I'm laughing because that's what I do in my auditions. I just am myself. I can't be nothing else but Christina. And they went, and they told me this, the director, Tanya, she told me this. She said, we went to your social media and you were exactly the same woman in every video as you were in the audition. Great voice, great personality, and we knew we wanted you. And then that's how I got it. That's nuts, right?
Absolutely.
But then I show up to the rehearsals and everyone has a body like they should be, you know, on OnlyFans. And there's like 3 or 4 people the whole show that are not this, like a twig. These people work out every day.
It's a massive dance show.
It is.
And
well,
just the choreography
they wear
is insane.
lingerie.
Yes, and they don't wear any clothes.
They don't wear any clothes. That's what the show is known for. Everyone wears no clothes. I didn't know that.
Actually, they do wear clothes.
No,
just
see-through ones.
Some.
They're wearing bras and panties. One girl wears a full like lace bodysuit with a pair of bra and panties. That's it. I'm like, hi, I'm Christina Wells. I'm a plus size person. What am I doing here? No, but I will say that I used to doubt before the tour if Houston just loved me because I have so many connections and I've moved around as an adult, and so these places I've lived love me because they know me. You know how you love someone and you're like, she's so great, but then that person you go try someplace else and they're like, you're not that great. They really just loved you. And I thought, you know, when you go on tour, I'm going to go to a bunch of different cities, and maybe some people have seen me on America's Got Talent, but not everyone will have. Right. And so those first few cities, you walk out of Utica, New York, and Matron Mama Morton, and people love the show. Right. That show has its own world of fans. People come dressed in flapper outfits. Like, it has its own universe of fans. So, you know, the big Matron Mama Morton, and I walk out and thunderous applause, and then I sing, and they let me choose the key, which, you know, that doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. They let me choose the key best for me for When You're Good to Mama. They asked me to do a riff at the end. Also, that does not happen, especially on the tour. They want cookie cutter.
Cookie cutter, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they very much were like, we would like to show the thing that you have. And so every night, hitting that big D5 and putting my arms up in the air and huge thunderous applause, and it got rid of a lot of my fears that people just liked my talent because they liked me as a person. It helped me feel like maybe I am good enough if strangers could see me sing and like me this much still too.
Yeah. What's it like touring though?
It's hellacious, man. Touring is not.
Stories.
It's hard. And I will say, and this is a little bit of a raw truth, but I won't say that I've had it easy, but I will say that my opportunities have come quickly and consecutively. Years of waiting, and then, boom, I do the commute. Like I just told you the story, right? It goes 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Like it's pretty quick. Plus then I come back here to Houston. I'm doing shows at Tuts. Like all the doors are opening. I'm doing all these events. I do my own one-woman show. Like I've done a lot of things. And so when you get into, and a lot of people have different opinions, this is mine. When you get into those environments, not everybody's happy for you. Mm. And some people can feel threatened. And I am a very friendly, happy, gregarious woman. That's who I really am. I'm this woman all day, all the time. Unless, of course, I'm upset like any normal human. But this is my natural personality. And so, for some reason, my talent and my natural personality can make people feel triggered. Mm-hmm. Because they're like, oh, everything comes to her and her life's easy and perfect. And she could that is a fallacy in your mind. Like life is not easy and perfect, but I choose to be happy because my happiness is a choice. I also choose to do the hard work it takes to do something like this, to sing that big, that loud every night. No dairy, no fried, no cooked tomatoes, no staying out late, no restaurants, no talking over noise, no parties, no nothing.
You've just described my entire life.
Amen, right? It's true, though. Yeah. If you want to look good for doing press at 8 a.m, every new city we went into, Channel 13, today we've got Christina Wells, right? And so if I want to do the press in the morning and I want to sing big at night, there's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. And people don't see that. They just see the wins. And I think of it like an iceberg. They just see the ice at the top. Nobody's looking under the water.
Yeah.
And so I struggled being away from family.
With people reacting to you differently once success hit.
Yes.
After America's Got Talent, people now assuming differently about you that had known you.
Right. That's true. I have very few of the same friends that I had before I went on television.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. It's been a big challenge for me, the friendship part. And it still continues to be because, and I'm honest about this. I keep my circle small. I used to have a much larger circle. I used to have a lot of humans in my life. And I thought that when you found success, that you could somehow widen the scope of that light and help it shine onto other people. And you just can't. You can't. I've tried relentlessly. I've tried to put other people in the place of me. And you can't make people, an audience or fans, like the people you want them to like. Mm-hmm. I can say you can come open for me or you can perform with me. And if people like you, awesome. I will share the limelight. Honey, let me share everything I have. But yeah, you can't transfer it to other people. And people feel bitter and angry about that. And also other people who've worked their whole lives. Like what if you have been working at being a singer and performing and gigging and doing events for years, years and years and years and years, and nothing has come of it. And then my chunky behind shows up. I had someone once say to me after an event, so I make hundreds of videos and no one ever sees it. You make one and you get invited to America's Got Talent to my face.
Yeah.
Out loud, a man, to my face. While I'm smiling and shaking hands and taking selfies. So I have to smile through those moments and pretend like they don't hurt my feelings because they do hurt my feelings.
That's a part I think people miss is that when you're in the public eye, they forget you have feelings.
Yes.
And the things people will say
to you out loud.
You're like, where were you raised?
Oh, and heaven forbid, I will tell you, I don't read comments. Social media comments, now I've got my following to where I like it. It's great. But when I have a viral video happen, I don't even go near those comments. Yeah. I had a national anthem go viral. Oh, Lord, child. The things people will say to me to this day about my weight. One of the funniest one was on that video. This man wrote, I'm wearing a tutu because you guys know I sing the national anthem. I wear tutus. That's a little thing I do. It's a shtick. And
you sing a lot.
I do.
Yeah, you get around.
I do. I sing a lot of national anthems. I've become the national anthem lady, which I'm grateful for. Keep on asking. Yeah. But yeah, so this man wrote in the comments. Now, if you're just going to call me fat, that's boring. Come on, be more creative. I've been called a whale. A bunch of people wrote that I was going to break through the floor of America's Got Talent if I jumped. Yeah, a lot of people write a lot of stuff, but that's boring. Like, come on, you're just going to call me fat? That's all you got is fat? And no one can say I'm ugly. Like, try. But you can say I'm fat. That's just like a fact. Like, if you say I'm brown, I am. I am fat. What's going to happen? But this man wrote, when she's done singing, is the football game over? once the fat lady sings.
Yeah.
I applauded that. I was like, you have humor. You've got,
You're
I had
rude,
discovery. I mean, that's levels. This is levels. But yeah, no, the things people will say to you and the hate you will get. I mean, I've had to learn when I walk into new environments to be prepared. I'm triggering someone who thought they were the queen, or someone who was like, I'm the best singer, that they think they're the best singer, which I think everyone is talented. I don't have all the talent. I don't think that at all, nor do I think I'm the best. I have to work really hard to be the woman I am right now. I'm singing at home constantly. I'm in voice lessons. I'm in acting lessons. Like, I'm doing all this stuff. But man, someone will be triggered by me. So you could just, oh, Lord Jesus.
I never thought of this, but are you a threat to plus size people who have always used their weight as an excuse for not achieving?
I think that is true in all the categories around me, because you know I have MS. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my MS, my weight, my age, my color, yes, I am a trigger to everyone who's ever thought those things. So if someone says to themselves, this is a perfect example, there's no way I could work full time, do all these things, and then in the evening have enough energy to do blank. But then I come into work and they say, what did you do last night, Christina? And I say, I sang at the Astros, right? In an outfit that I made. Yeah. Yes. And I painted my nails orange and blue. And like, I did all this. They're like, after work, you did this? I'm like, yes. And that is so triggering to some people because they are lying to themselves that the reason they haven't achieved whatever the thing is because they're not enough time, they don't have enough resources, it's too late. But the truth is that I am not better or different than other people. I am relentless. You want to see some ugly clothes I've made? There are some. You want to see some pictures of bad nail painting? There are some. I got a whole bunch of photos of me with horrible makeup on my face. That all exists. You want to hear my first national anthem? Oh, Lord. Say, honey, what's happening? Why are you doing that? It's fine, but it's not great. And I've had to figure things out. I just won't quit.
Yeah.
I just won't quit. I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to quit. So if someone is quitting, then that's what's happening. It isn't that I suddenly, people will say that to themselves. It's because she's more talented. No. My singing is a talent. The rest of it's skill.
I would have to disagree a little bit with you. There is so much talent bubbling up there. From fashion design to nail work. People don't even know half of the nail stuff. Do you still have the page?
Oh, no, we took a bunch of it
nails?
down. But I do have an album up because I used to have a whole Instagram dedicated just to my nails. Right. But we put an album on Facebook of just my nails. And I thought, no one's going to like this. It got so many.
But then the acting and the singing, you are and we didn't even get into the public speaking, the motivational speaking, but I think folks got a good taste of that. I cannot thank you enough for not just sitting down and chatting with me today, but for being my friend and for including me in your world. And when you talk about how your circle's gotten small, I'm happy that I get to at least poke into that circle.
You're in it. You text me and I answer.
Yes, you do. Christina Wells, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you to you. I remember the first day we met and you said it to me. I had later on done a show and you came to the show. And afterwards you walked up to me and you said, this is the last time I will get to see you in such an intimate space because you're going to be so successful and you're going to do so many big things. And I believed you. And I always think about that, your kindness to me and your support of me. And so happy to always do whatever you are doing, Ernie.
I love it. You say happy and both of us are about to cry.
But it's true, and it meant a lot. You're a big deal. You're a big deal, and you made a little girl inside of me feel important, and I appreciate it. And moments like this, it feels wonderful to my little 15 minutes of fame that you still want to hear about what I'm doing, and you want to share it on any platform you have. And so I'm very grateful to you.
Thank you, Christina. Christina Wells.